All right, it is 7 o'clock, so we're going to get started. Welcome to our starting inventory tool and ordering training. We're going to do a deep dive on how to use the starting inventory tool, how to place your starting inventory tool, schedule your cookie delivery, and based on some questions we've had this past week, we're going to go over some girl delivered and initial order card pieces of digital cookie to help you out with that as well. A little bit of housekeeping. My name is Ashley, by the way. I'm the Director of Product Program for those who haven't joined us on the other calls. Elaine, who's one of the Product Program Managers, is also on the line. She'll be monitoring the chat and the Q&A, so you can use either of those to ask questions. And then we will be stopping at strategic times for questions. So we'll stop after each piece in case there are questions that we need to address. So just drop those in the Q&A and we'll either decide to answer them live or Elaine can chat you with it or drop it in the chat. We'll be monitoring that as well. Our agenda for this evening, I plan to go over the starting inventory order tool, how new troops use it, how returnings use it, and where to find it on our website. I will go over how to place your starting inventory order in eBuddy, how to schedule your delivery station in eBuddy, and then we're going to talk a little bit about girl delivered orders and a few digital cookie things at the very end. A few important dates. This Friday, January 21st at 9 p.m., your starting inventory order is due in eBuddy. And at 9:30 p.m., your delivery station is due. So you can turn them in anytime before 9 and 9:30, but at that point, it will lock out. Our customer care line will be open till p.m. So my team and the customer care team, which is about 7 of us, will be on the phones until 9 to help with any hiccups or issues that you may run into or questions you service unit cookie manager are not locked Sunday at midnight. So if something weird comes up and you need to change your order or add or subtract, or you accidentally miss that 9 p.m. deadline, just reach out. Somebody will definitely be available to help you. And we won't submit anything to the bakery until we know that we've called everybody back and gotten everybody's orders in or edited, those kind of things. We won't leave anybody hanging when we submit. We don't submit till Monday midday to our bakery. Oh, all right. Oops, sorry. Starting inventory order. So I'm going to go over a show and tell of the actual order tool, show you where to find it, all that fun stuff. So give me just 1 second. So real quick, where to find it. Girl Scouts of Central Indiana, girlscoutsindiana.org is the GSCI website. If you click on cookies here in the top bar, Cookie Central automatically pulls up. The first half is for girls and families. The second half is for volunteers. Under Essentials for Volunteers, you will find the starting inventory tool. If you click on that, downloads an Excel file. If you don't have Excel, you can push it out into Google Sheets, which is free for everyone to use. All right, I do already have it open though, so let's go over this. There are 2 tabs here at the bottom. The first tab is new troops and the second is returning troops. So I'm going to go over the new troop part first. So this here just gives you a little bit of detail of what I'm getting ready to go over. The biggest part of the starting inventory order, if you have not caught all the details last week about adventurefuls, the biggest thing is to make sure you at least order your adventurefuls because while we do our best to keep them stocked, we did not put any in cupboards just yet. We want to make sure we have enough in to cover all of our initial order for towing to the trucks, and then we'll put them in cupboards that first week that cupboards are open, depending on what we have left and when the bakery can get us more if we need it, that kind of thing. So for new troops, you're going to come down and you're going to choose your age level. So if we choose, let's choose Daisy. Let's choose that we're from Clay County and I've got 10 girls selling. So once I fill those out, all these numbers change. We just order, if you are going to do booths and do the order card and digital cookie, we suggest ordering 50% of your anticipated sales. I should note that if you're choosing not to do booths, I would definitely back this way down. Order what you need for what your girls have now on order cards and in digital cookie. And then you can always go to a cupboard for more cookies. So this will show you how many cases is your anticipated sale. Down here, it's right now set for 100. You can toggle between 40 and 100. This shows you what that mix is for 50%. So 50% for a troop, that's a daisy troop from Clay County with 10 girls, would be 66 cases. And then it breaks down what that case order is. So we used the per girl average of all of our daisies selling in 2021 for the whole council. It would, depending on the service unit you pick, we use the per girl average right for each service unit. So when you pick your service unit, it then not only looks at Daisy's per girl average, but hones in on what your specific service unit did, and then it multiplies that by the number of girls selling. To get these totals here, we used last year's total sold as a whole council, what that mix was. We did take a few things away to account for Adventurefuls. We took a little bit from everything. So this equals 100%. Oh, sorry. I am a proud dog mom, and sometimes I get loud when I'm on. So I if you can hear that. Down here, this gives you the 50% mix, tells you what that is in packages. This would be your entire initial order. When I show you eBuddy here shortly, you'll be able to see what I mean. That would be like for all your girl delivered orders and any extras you're ordering for booths. It wouldn't be on top of your girl delivered orders on paper order cards. If you come down to this next box, you can toggle between 40% and 100% and see what those different numbers are. If you are a new troop, I suggest talking this over with other troopship and just seeing what you're comfortable with. Again, if you're not doing booths or you're only going to do 1 or 2, take out what you need for your girls' orders right now, and then place a booth order or place a cupboard order for February 8th or later. If that's when cupboards open, we'll have a beep on that here in a couple of weeks, but don't feel pressured to order anything. But if you do plan on doing a bunch of booths and you want to really have cookies available to you and not be running to and from a volunteer's house for cookies, this would be the suggested, the 50%. All right, I do see. Julie asked, I'm hearing that Adventurefuls is selling second best only to men. Do we need to increase that percent? Julie, I'm not sure where you're hearing that. Little Brownie so far, everything that's come in, they're coming in at about a 9 to 10% of the entire sale. So it is set for 8% here because that's what Little Brownie originally told us. And so we built this in the fall. So you could up it a little bit if you wanted to. But across the nation, they're seeing somewhere in that like 9 to 10% range, depending on the council. All right, if you're a returning troop, you're going to click on the blue tab at the bottom. And then this sheet is a little more intensive. You're going to put your 5-digit troop number here at the top. So if I type in our Miss Troop, oh, nobody had sales there last year. If I type in what was our Juliet troop last year for girls who wanted to sell and their troops weren't selling due to COVID, you'll see their sales totals pop up here, all their 2021 data. And then the next 4 boxes deep dive into that data. So, excuse me, sorry, my throat's getting dry. It looks at what they sold physically, so everything except for donation cookies. And then it breaks that down. What did they put on their starting inventory, or what did they pick up from cupboards, and what was digital cookies shipped? So for returning troops, because you have that data there, take into account, you know, because we're suggesting that returning troops do 75% to save you a bunch of trips to the cupboards. So take that into account when you're thinking about like 5% of what I sold last year that was not donated, that was some kind of physical package, whether it came from your troop stock or straight from GSUSA. Take that percentage there into account. And then the next step you're going to do is come down here and pick how many girls you have selling. So let's say I have 10. It will edit it. It will look at all your data from 2021. It'll look at the council mix from 2021. Again, we put 8% of and we took away everything except for mints as well here. So every other mints was not touched, but every other percentage was decreased a little bit to make up for the 8% in Adventurefuls. This gives you case count and your package count, tells you what 75% of that is, and then you can toggle again, just like new troops, between 40 and 100% on the 5 percentages, so that you can again make an estimate for returning troops. If you haven't sat down with your girls and done this, or sat down with troop leadership, dependent on your comfort level, right? Those who have 5, 6, 7 years, this is comfortable. Those who are in their second and third year, you might want to at least run this by your other troop leadership. Make sure you're comfortable with this. Again, make sure you're taking into account, this would be with your girl delivered, with your shipped, and with any paper order cards. This, you don't, you would want to take all that into account. I see a question. So I just hopped on. Is the spreadsheet used for just the additional cookies that have not been ordered via? Yes. No. So Candace, it is taking into account what you would sell in total for the whole program through all avenues: girl delivered, girl shipped, girl donated, through digital cookie, booths, paper order cards. So this is looking at what your whole program is estimated to look like based on 2021 data, not just your physical booth cookies. So you'll want to take into account anything that's already been sold as you're looking at placing this order. Okay. And then here at the bottom on both of them, we put the money management information. For those that have been around in the past, we used to take out a payment based on this first starting inventory order. We're not doing that anymore. So you'll just want to put money in your bank account, and on March 4th, we'll draw 50% of what you owe. And then after the sale wraps up, we give everybody time to clean everything up. And on March 25th, we'll pull 100% of what is owed.
Ashley, we also had a follow-up question of when does
yeah, I saw
okay.
It.
Thank
so digital sales are currently already loading to eBuddy, and so we'll go over that here shortly. Any questions specifically about the starting inventory tool before we move on to eBuddy and digital? I don't see, Candace, I see your comments, so we'll, it usually takes about 20 to 30 minutes. So we may need to talk with you offline to look at your troop specificity. I don't see any questions about the starting inventory tool. Nina, that you don't have to ignore the 50%. If you're doing booths, we suggest taking out 50%. If you're not doing booths, we would not suggest that. We would suggest you go ahead and just take out what your girls have ordered, as opposed to utilizing this tool. This tool is really for troops who plan to also utilize booths, because these would be based on troops overall, and that would have a lot of booth sellers. Yeah, Candace, let me show you. I'll go back. Let's see. So starting inventory tool, if you go to our Girl Scouts Indiana website, you click on cookies, it'll drop you on the Cookie Central page. Scroll down to the bottom half, which is for volunteers. Under this first drop down, Essentials for Volunteers is the starting inventory tool. When you click on it, it will download an Excel file. If you do not have access to Excel, you can push it out into a Google Sheet, and Google Sheets are free for everybody to access. Last year we had it in a Google Sheet and everybody could figure out how to work past my locks. So we put it back in an Excel file, knowing that you could open that way. All right. Any other questions about the starting inventory tool? If not, I'm going to move on to eBuddy. So let me go here.
Looks like we're good, Ashley.
Okay, thanks. So I'm going to look at our mystery troop, which is where we dump girls aren't selling, and show you eBuddy. Oh. Emma, if your girls did really well and 50% covers the pre-orders, I would, how many, if you're signing up for booths this week, how many booths you did, and then estimate somewhere between like 70 or 50 to 100 packages, depending on where you live. That's a little bit different. For a troop kind of in the donut hole in the Indy and the greater Indy area, so like those 8 counties in the center of our council, roughly 100 packages per booth site is not like, that's pretty normal. That's pretty average. However, I know that if you're more rural, that can flux between like 50 at some booths, and then like you might hit a really good Saturday and sell more than 100. So kind of, if you signed up for 10 booths, I would try to take out, at least 100 packages for the first 4 to 5 booths, knowing that you're going to be able to have leftover and filter that into those last 5 booths, and then go to a cupboard and pick up more cookies. The goal really is just to offset troop cookie managers or troop leadership having to run back and forth to their cupboard, so that just like saving you some time. So yeah, I would just look at like taking 100 packages to each booth. So order 5, order your first half of your booths up front based on this mix. So you could kind of look at that is, and if you'd like one of us to run a tighter number on that mix for those exact number of packages, you totally could call us. We'll give you that. I'm happy to help you with that. But yeah, I would just look at like trying to order half booths. That way you have plenty of wiggle room. If you needed more mint and less lemon, you have lemon that'll last y'all, the rest of the way out or through toward the end, but you can pick up more mints and you're not stuck. The other thing I should note for those who are going to put in booth cookies or extra cookies in general, if for some reason you find yourself after your first 2 weekends of booths with extra cookies, get a hold of council, get a hold of your service unit cookie manager. There is always a troop who needs more cookies to keep hitting their goals. And if you're like, man, my girls are done, I have these 30 packages, I don't know what to do with them. We deeply encourage troops to share, to like help offset that. Instead of running to the cupboard, run to your local Girl Scout troop who's in your area, help them make sure they're not stuck with cookies, so that instead of grabbing them from a council cupboard. We'd rather you guys transfer between you and nobody have anything left than to have be chasing it to our cards. So just keep that in mind. And on March 1st, an exchange tab will pop open, and you'll be able to start putting those things in there as well, so that anyone on the council can see them. That's a really good question. We have the, can cookies ever go back to the council, or is transferred to other troops the only option? So cookies cannot go back to the council per food safety. So once they're out of our cupboards, because we can't control what they were around, we can't bring them back in. So it really is transferred to other troops. That I just wouldn't wait until March 12th to figure that out. So, reevaluate there at the very end of February, where you're at, what you're comfortable. Are you comfortable? Do you have enough booths? Or are you really feeling like, I want some more mints, but I got too many lemon and I don't want the rest? Because most troops will help out if it is just a few packets. And your service units, all of our service cookie managers are great at helping send that message out on your, or in your Facebook groups. You can do that wherever you connect with troops in your area. All right, so eBuddy, when you log in, you see your dashboard. To place your initial order, you click on the initial, or your starting inventory order is what it's called, the first one, but you place the you click on the initial order tab. I'm actually going to click out of this troop because it doesn't have any digital, and I want to show you that. Let me go to my daughter's troop. Sorry about that. I didn't think about that you wouldn't be able to see what it's looking like for most of you. All right, so you're on the initial order tab. You can see girls digital cookie girl delivered coming in on these gray lines for every girl. Their order card line is empty. Girls did have order cards if you passed them out. So they might have orders that you wanted to collect. You might just say, hey, I'll deal with those when cookies come in. That is totally up to you. Some troop leaders key them in here, some do not. If you are someone who wanted to collect those orders, that's totally fine. So like, let's say Olivia turns in an order card to the troop cookie manager. You would click on order card, and then this orange boxes would pop up down here. You would put her order in, hit OK, hit save. And that just makes sure that you don't accidentally cover over something or it stray away and forget, and you got half your girls in, you forgot to hit save, something happened, you had to step away, it, you know, log out and it didn't save. So just always hit save after every girl. When you're ready to put any troop extras in, you can either use the other line or the booth line. Doesn't really matter. They're both just extra cookies. I'm not sure why Little Brownie has 2 lines, but they're both just extra cookies. So when it's time to put that order in, these are all placed in packages in these lines. So let's say I need 5 everything, package wise as my extras. That's a really small extra order. I guess I'm not into a booth. But so I've placed that. I'm going to hit save again. And then you can see here at the bottom that makes my troop packages ordered. This first tells you what that total order is, 354 packages. On your troop delivery on this first big order, because they come off the semis, and like you're going to pull up to a semi, and a semi truck worker is going to offload your cookies and load them into your car for you as you count. So this has to be in full cases, which means this line tells me I needed 31. There are 12 packages in every case. So I really need 3 cases to fill that order, which is going to be 36 packages. I'm going to have 5 extra that are not accounted for as my other. So really they just become troop extras. So what's going to happen is I'm really going to, these 5 extra I ordered plus these 5. So I'm going to have 10 extra lemon. I'm going to have 0 extra trefoils. I'll have, you know, 5 more, lemon up, 5 more trefoils. So I have 42 packages that I did not order up top that will be part of my troop stock. So you'll want to get this second line tells you how many cases you ordered. While we're talking about initial order, girls can place their paper orders in digital cookie. You do not have to have them do it this way. Next year, it will feed from digital cookie into eBuddy, so you won't have to do anything. But for this year, you do have to download a report. So if it's easier for you to have girls place it digital cookie, that's fine. For some people, getting a text message of what a parent needs works as well. Whatever communication works for you. Would like to use this feature. We sent a tip out for you as a troop leader and for the caregiver girl piece in our eBuddy blast today. But they log into their dashboard, click on my cookies, scroll down, and they would enter their order here, save any updates. So any donated cookies they collected to, save updates, and then that's going to update your troop dashboard. So when it's time for you to pull your order, you're going to go to your troop dashboard, scroll down here to the bottom, initial order, get a report. It's going to download you an Excel file. Let's see as it opens up here, and it'll tell that so far Perseus is the only one in my troop who has put an initial order in and how many packages. And then I would have to go over to eBuddy and key that in for her. So as you can see, it's not loaded in there. I'd have to come over here and key order in, click OK, click save. Okay, see, it asked me if I wanted to abandon my edits. So that's the good news. If I click away, it will ask you to abandon your edits. You didn't save them. So let's assume that these 33 cases is what I need for my troop. I've clicked save. So now I'm going to click the orange submit order button. And it's going to ask me, you can only submit your order 1 time. So do you want to submit your order? I'm going to click OK. If you submit your order too early, you can call council, or you can call your service stream cookie manager, then unsubmit your order up through this coming Sunday 23rd at midnight. If you call council, email one of us, we don't get back to you on the weekend. Again, like I said earlier, we will not leave you hanging. We will get everything taken care of Monday morning. So I go to the delivery tab here. Oh, yep. let me go real quick. I did just see we have a question about how a girl adds her paper order. So I am going to stack real quick before I go over the delivery tab. Let me click back to my parent view. Here's my girl parent view. I'm going to click on monkeys. I'm going to scroll here to the middle of it, and I can change these. And then I can put how many packages I need in there, click save updates, ignore the size of this. This is a cadet Girl Scout who have loyal people. I'm going to hit save updates, and my internet's going to be slow about it. But so I would hit save updates. Once it saves, that would then go to that troop dashboard for me to pull that report. While we're here real quick, as a note, girls delivery settings, let's say you get to the end of the sale, you want your girls to stop taking girl delivered orders. Same My Cookies tab, they come down here, they click inactive. Let's say you get toward the end and they're okay to take orders, but you've run out of limit-ups. They would you just tell them turn that off, and they would hit update deliveries so that they can't take orders for cookies that you don't have. And that at some point you'll say, hey, I'm done running to the cupboard, and that's okay. So in eBuddy, we've submitted our initial order. It will remind us to go to the delivery tab. So we're on the delivery tab. I have 33 cases to pick up. Am I picking it up, someone from my troop picking it up, or is someone else from my troop, or someone from, another troop picking it up? So some of you who are friends with people in other troops, it may be that you can't get to the delivery site, but they can get your cookies for you. So for my troop, it's someone from my troop. Will I be picking up any other troops? I'm not picking up any other troops. I pick my delivery station, so I want to go to Indy North on Saturday, which is at Castleton Square Mall. I want to pick, let's say I want to go at 10:30, and then I would hit submit my info. And then I can now view my confirmation. It tells me how many cookies I'm picking up, the location in which I'm picking up, and if, hey, Elaine, will you make a note? I know we put delivery location dates out there, but I don't think we put details. So will you put a note that we need to send that out tomorrow with their actual location base? Estimated number of vehicles. So for me, it thinks I need 2 compact cars to do 33 cases. Depending on how many people are in a car, you might. The biggest thing is when you show up to delivery, you show up, the goal is that you would show up with no more than 2 adults in the front, the back is cleared out and ready to be loaded. So 2 compact cars, this is assuming I'm only putting them in my trunk, so that's why I would need 2, same with a hatchback. A midsize sedan, back of my, this is all assuming back of my trunk, minivan with the seats in, back of my trunk. If a minivan has all of its seats compacted and it is flat, or you've taken them out, it can hold a little over 100. So keep that in mind. Pickup, full-size bed can hold usually like 50, depending on how big your truck bed is and how high, like if you have runners and you can put things up a little bit higher. And a cargo van, obviously it fits a lot more without the seats in as well. You will want to make sure that all of your people are together before you get in the line to check in. So if you needed like 4 volunteers to come from your troop, you'll want to make sure that all of those are together and get in line together. All right, I see a few chats. You are most welcome. I'm glad that this is helpful. This is new for us this year to do these deep dives, and it's been great. I've loved it. Janelle asked, is there a way to enter order card sales so it contributes to the girl goal and digital cookie? So they took away offline sales because as a troop leader this year, and that will be in a further deep dive, is like if I go to Addie and I add a transaction, this inventory line here, if I click it, it forces it out into her digital cookie total. If the parent it lets the parent see that you've assigned them cookies that weren't digital cookie and cookies that were. So digital cookie, for the digital cookie awards, it does have to be a cookie, an order through her cookie that is either shipped, donated, or girl delivered.
Ashley, we also have another question
Yep,
of how,
and
how do we order donated cookies from digital cookie orders and order cards? Do we physically receive cookies for those? Do we need to order them? Just take them from our troop stock?
yep,
Question.
okay. So cookies for a cause cookies are cookies that you order, you put them in, they're technically invisible cookies. So for a girl's initial order, if they're on her card, well, let me up here. I'm gonna have to go unsubmit this troop. If they're on her order card, you can put them on her initial order. And I will, sorry, give me just a second to back this out so I can show you. There we go. Okay, so on their initial order tab, let's say Honey had to gift or cookies for a cause cookies, I would put them right here. Let's say she got 5 donations. That's money on an order card. It's the only thing she should have collected money for. Physical cookies, when they get delivered, they get paid for. But cookies cause, they get paid for when the person orders them. On a regular order, after the initial order, I would add a transaction, and then there's a line here for them as well. So if you're collecting at your booth, let's say you collect $10 at your booth, that's 2 packages. So you would just credit those 2 packages to those girls. And missed the booth training last week. Our little brownie rep was on and did a lot of good information about track or how you track booth sales in this system. And so I would encourage you to go back to the True Cookie Manager training. In GS Learn, it's at the bottom there as a recording, or you can find them here on the Cookie Central page at the very bottom. Live webinar volunteers, those 2 recordings from the last 2 weeks are up. But those cookies are then council. We take all the donated cookies that we get. So all that money, every cookie that came in, we take those, we order them at the end of the sale. From Little Brownie, and then they go to organizations like Stoutfield, HVAC. This year we've expanded it to be pantries because the military and the first responders were like running out of connections. So Stoutfield actually donates them to every armory, National Guard armory in the state. So we've done like 60,000 packages. They split them up between everybody. They send them overseas to any Indiana National Guard units that are being stationed overseas. And then all the Marine Corps, Air Force, Navy, and Army in the state come and pick up from them. And this year new is if you, any troop who sells an average of 350 packages per girl in total of any cookie will have the opportunity to come pick up somewhere between 5 and 10 cases, depending how many we have sold this year. And they'll get to donate them locally to either a food bank or a first responder of their choice. So local fire, police, EMS, hospital. And then some of these do go to hospitals like IU, Arnett, IU, Bloomington, IU down in Indianapolis, St. Vincent, things like that. We added first responders. We added first responders 2 years ago. Last year we added healthcare workers due to the COVID. And we just wanted to keep that, though they're still right there on the front lines. And we added food banks this year. So it did, it has a new name, which is Cookies for a Cause, so that we could expand that a little bit.
Ashley, we have,
I do see a few questions.
I have Bethany asking, where do I get the troop view on digital cookie? All she sees is her own daughter's page.
Bethany, let me put my email in the chat. If you will want to email me your trooper and I can check on that, you have to have eBuddy access, and I may need to just resync you. I see that Emma asks, when you say any van seats in, does that mean back row or all seats? That would be all seats in. So that's then just stacking them like on your floorboards and in the seats. Some people choose to go ahead and take their back row out, or those who have the ones that collapse down into the floor often collapse everything in. Let's see, on Girl Off My Heels, how do girls get credit towards their total number with their paper order card? Melissa, so offline sales, those are added on the girl orders tab. So after you've submitted your initial order, let's say that Mackenzie comes back to the Troop Cookie Manager and says, hey, I got another order for 15 packages to my grandma. Then you would add a transaction. I usually give it as much information here as possible. Some people create receipt numbers on their receipt book and match this to the receipt number. I often would be like, grandma on, 2/17 is what she picked this up for. She picked up 15 Samoa. It's not going to let me do it because I don't have cookies in my troop stock. If you don't have cookies in your troop stock, they'll say, hey, you don't have enough. And then I would hit OK. I know it's not going to let me do it though, so let me back these out. I would hit OK, and I would hit save here at the top. And that would give her credit in eBuddy. So eBuddy is where everything tracks. If you want parents to see that total, you would click the inventory button. That would push it out to Digital Cookie and add to their total sold. However, the most important thing is just that when you're on this girl orders tab at the end of your sale, and we'll go over this in the March 8th training, that this line down here says 0, and that all the girls have cookies, that even if you had extras left that you're still trying to sell, like a case of something, you still want to allocate those so that girls get the optimal rewards. And then on the rewards tab here, you would fill it out, but you can see like Mackenzie here already has earned her theme patch and the decals based on her sold cookies. And so anything that you're adding to this transactions tab, whether it be digital cookie, or sorry, to the girl orders tab, whether it be digital cookie orders coming in, or you're adding them as booth sales or other order paper card sales, that will add to her total. Oh, Jenny, thank you for getting that taken care of. I see how much is shipping for digital cookies, general estimate. That is dependent on how many they're ordering. Elaine, can you see if you can pull, let me see if it's, I don't think it's, let me go to my council login. I know it's 12 something, but like 4 to 6 packages. Let me log in as my council login and see if I can find the shipping table. They just updated it this year. Oh yeah, here it is. So for 1 to 6 packages, $12.99. Same for 7 or 8, and it goes up to $14.99 for 9, 10, 11, or 12 packages. Let's see. Do you have to load the reward system because I wish that tab? Okay. So for digital cookie, I keep breaking the reward tab. I keep trying to upload a picture and it shoots it away, and then it gives me a whoops error. So they're fixing it again. So in digital cookie, you'll start being able to see those hopefully next week once they get me fixed. On eBuddy, that rewards tab, you should see a view and a fill out for each. Ooh, you must see the final rewards. Sorry, let me jump to a leader. I always forget that my council level is just fascinatingly. So yeah, you won't be able to fill out final rewards yet. You can view them, but you could fill out initial rewards. You won't need to. We'll send out information next week, but as long as if a girl earned a hoodie, you just need to put her shirt size in here, her hoodie size, it will automatically load in there. Council will wrap that all up on February 1st, and you won't need to do anything. Let me see. Once initial order is in digital cookies order, then have to, so yes, Jennifer, so once initial order is in digital cookie girl delivered, the physical keys stop flowing to eBuddy because it would double charge you because it has to come out of your troop stock. So this is ordering them for your troop stock, and then it'll automatically give the girls credit for anything that you ordered under their name on the initial order tab. Then you'll go to cupboards and pick up extras, or you'll have extras from your initial order, whichever. But out of your troop extras, you will then be allocating cookies. Oh, okay, sorry. You'll be allocating cookies to them. And so for girl delivered, you have to allocate that. like they'll have to tell you they need those cookies. You'll have to then assign them the cookies to give them credit. The money will come in though. So let me show you here with like Perseus, all of these delivered and the order number with just money coming in. Those cookies are currently feeding to the initial order tab. What will happen is only the money will feed after initial order. When do orders place a digital cookie with paid shipping? So all shipped cookies ship between 7 and 10 days after they are ordered. So those who ordered from you like at the beginning of the month should already have their cookies. To determine what we should order for initial order, we should take the spreadsheet suggestion 50, 75, etc. Then subtract the digital cookie pre-sale for all girls. The difference, yes, you are correct, Janelle. So you're going to want to take into account all their orders they've already turned into you and or coming from girl delivered, subtract that. So the goal would be not that your extras line, that the other line or the booth line reads that amount, but that this line reads that amount. That package is ordered. All right, let's see. Let me go back here. So we talked about placing your order and your delivery. So we did a show and tell on how girls put their initial paper order cards in, how you pull that report. So girl delivered, we've talked about how it flows into Edie. But one thing I should note, because because Digital Cookie went down last week, we noticed people have reported it as well. So I know it's not just my daughter, but I did notice that as I was approving her girl delivered orders, that although they are flowing to the initial order tab, they're not check marking in here. So it's not obvious to me as a parent that that those are already on that troop order. So the way that you can know for a parent is after you submit your order, you'll go to a girl, click on girl orders tab, click into the girl. On this right-hand corner, you can either see her initial order recap, all her orders. I don't know what inventory items are. Oh, any items that you've marked with the inventory button so that you know they flow to Digital Cookie for the parent to see as their offline sales. And girl delivery. So currently, all the orders in eBuddy or in Digital Cookie are flowing to eBuddy for my daughter. Once I submit the initial order, what will start happening is new girl delivered orders come into these lines down here. So anything below the end of IO was not part of her initial order tab submission, right? So those are the orders that are part of your troop extras and not already allocated for that girl. So if let's go back here to the initial order tab. So like for Adria, she needs 46 packages. When I submit on Friday night, she will continue to get girl delivered orders. It might be that when I pick up cookies on February 5th and her mom comes to pick up, that now she needs 60 packages, 46 of which are already allocated to her, 14 that I need to allocate to her. All right, let's see here. On the girl digital cookie page, they are only adding their orders to their initial order page, or they need to include. So they would only be putting, Melissa, only paper orders. So on the My Cookies page for that initial order, that is just what's on their paper. So anything they collected there, Digital Cookies already counting into eBuddy for you. And they don't need to put it on their paper order card because it's already there. On my girl's Digital Cookie, it isn't tracking orders since it's 12. It shows up on her phone. Digital Cookie, though, is this a problem? So Nina, we did notice that. I'm sure, like, I know it's only 7:45, but if you get a chance, check out your eBuddy blast today. But we did notice that these green check marks aren't showing. And in turn, the top of their dashboard isn't calculating. We've let GSUSA know, and they were already aware when I reported it, but this shows 88 packages sold. When I scroll down here, it says 152. That's the right number. I can check that in eBuddy by looking at her. She's got 126. Let me pull up my calculator. She got 126 girl delivered feeding in. And then on her girl orders tab, if I click on, look, she's got 26. So that makes her have 152. So eBuddy's reading right, app is reading right, halfway down the dashboard is reading right. For some reason, their top number isn't reading right, and they're aware. It's currently holding capacity just fine, but they have yet to figure out what caused it to go down. It's the same platform they used last year, and they had no problems. So they do still have their IT working around the clock to figure out what in the coding caused it to feel like it was overloaded and put itself into maintenance mode. Gave it a lot more server space, and since then it hasn't gone down. So I think this is something that when they fix that kink that caused it to go, I'm overloaded and shut itself down, I'm sure that will fix there. But the good news is it's reading into eBuddy just fine. And if you're a little hesitant and you want to double check it, just double check it the way I just showed. All right, so Bethany, the email sent count, I have not noticed that it is off. However, thank you emails do not count. So that will start to show off in any year. So this is counting unique emails, which are marketing, the 3 different marketing emails, the open for business, still time, and like the don't miss out. I'm trying to think exactly what it says. But it's like the last chance of email. So thank you emails don't count. So it may be that. If it's not, shoot me an email and I'll take a look at it. There's a question from Ben. So should I have my parents enter paper order cards under my cookies and digital cookie before I submit a starting inventory order on Friday? Megan, that's up to you. So for this year, that my cookies, you still have to go and pull that report. So like for our cookie manager, we're just texting them to him. He was like, I don't need to, like, just text me your order before 5 p.m. on Friday and I'll key it in. Because for this year, this is not reading into eBuddy. You actually have to go to your troop dashboard and pull that report all the way down here. And then it'll pop out that Excel file that tells you which girls submitted that order, and then you have to go key it in to eBuddy. So it'll pop open this, tell you what the order is. You'll then have to key it into eBuddy. It doesn't automatically flow over. In 2023, it will automatically flow. All right, that is the end of our deep dive into all things inventory. Is there any other questions out there about this piece? I closed out on accident. Let's see. So the cookies, correct, Ashley. So the My Cookies tab for 2022 does not read to eBuddy. It's a new tab. It'll read in 23, but for now it's just an option. So if you would rather have parents enter it there and be able to pull a report when you're ready, you can give them a deadline to enter it in digital cookie and then pull that report, or you can just have them text you or email you, whatever's easier for you for this year. Next year, though, I would definitely suggest it because it'll automatically read and you won't have to mess with their paper orders. Any other questions? All right. As a reminder, customer care, you can call them at 317-924-6800. They are well trained. They took all the important trainings with GSUSA and Little Brownie, just like my team did. If they feel like they need to involve us, they do. But they're open Mondays and Fridays from 9 to 5:30. Jenny, correct me if I'm wrong there. And then Wednesday, Thursday from 9 to 7. Jillian, the inventory tool is an estimation tool for all sales. Correct. You are correct on that. It is for you to look at what your whole year would look between all your digital, booth, and paper order cards, not just your booth sales. All right. Yep. So Jenny did say I was correct. Yeah, Monday, Friday, 9 to 5:30, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 9 to 7. So if you need help, they are on the phones at those times. All right, well, thanks everybody. I don't see any other questions floating around. I'm going to go ahead and end the call. This recording will go up in GS Learn tomorrow, as well as onto the council website under that training, the recorded webinars tab. If you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much. Have a good night.